should I mind? Why should I mind? What is love anyway? Does anybody love anybody anyway? What is love?
Hello and welcome to the Schache and I show. Well, no, this is our Easter video that we're putting together for you wherever you happen to be. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, we hope that you're having a wonderful Easter time. And as a college, we thought we'd put together these videos. This is our way of celebrating it together.
Yep. Celebrating Easter for our school, like we normally do down in the MPH.
That's it.
But different format this year.
That's it. So we hope that you enjoyed today's video and hope that you can connect with it. The theme that we're exploring is what is love? We're looking at love.
As you heard on the front end there with Howard Jones from 1983.
Bit of a throwback for you, Schache?
Yeah, I've got it home on vinyl, complete with the big hairdo. Little man from England.
First of all, Schache, when was a moment in life that you knew that you were loved?
As I thought over that question, no real one particular earth-shattering moment came to mind, but I was lucky enough to celebrate a birthday last week, and all my close family members all gave me a nice greeting card, and within that was beautiful words of appreciation and how I connect into their lives and what they think about me, and that really does speak to me quite strongly and lets me know that I'm loved.
Yeah.
And that's certainly a time. Yeah. What about you, Pastor Nathan?
Yeah, thanks. I've shared this elsewhere in the college at different times. I just distinctly remember this Christian camp I went to in year 9, and I don't record all what they said, much like maybe you don't remember what we say in chapels and things like that. I have no idea what it was on about, but I do recall just this feeling of being loved. I knew that I was cared for by the leaders of the camp. They welcomed me into a group. They showed me love through words, through song, through using physical touch, in a proper way. And I don't know what else to say. Just I had this general feeling that for once in my life, I was loved and cared for. And it was a new feeling. It's good for me to know that I can be loved and that I was loved. So that just stands out to me, even today.
Yep, thank you.
We're talking at this topic because obviously Easter's got something to do with love, but would you ever connect Easter with love, Schache?
Not directly, no. My connection, or what I think of when I think of Easter, is going to church, and church and love don't directly go together for me in some form or another. So Easter's about going to church, which I've done in all sorts of strange places with my own parents when I was a kid, out in rural South Australia, going to little obscure churches for Good Friday and Easter Sunday worship. And then with that comes that notion of sacrifice and forgiveness, and the fact that it's so integral in my Christian belief and faith. Easter, Christ sacrificing himself on the cross, and with that comes forgiveness. Hasn't really made complete sense to me down through the decades, but that's what I think of for Easter. And yourself, what do you connect Easter with?
Look, truthfully, I know I'm a pastor and the answer should be Jesus, but I just think of Easter eggs and chocolate and Easter bunnies and Easter egg hunts, and I don't think I deeply reflect on the notion of Easter being to do with love or the deep sacrifice really that Easter is, that happened through Jesus. So it's probably why it's good to talk about. In addition, I think we've also got difficulties with love and as it's represented to us through society, such that, if you were to do a Google search on love, you look at the images or the songs that come up or whatever you find, it's often to do with romantic love. That's our default, is to go in that way, and it's such that I think we start to understand all love in a romantic sense of that's our only understanding of what love could be like, is if you're interested in someone in that way. But love is so much bigger than that and so much more than that, and I think we just get this narrow understanding through society. I'd also argue that we've sometimes, in all truthfulness, I'd say got some poor role models to do with love, key leaders in the world who are doing their best, but may not always display loving gestures of goodwill or grace or kindness, perhaps even locally amongst our own family or whoever's. I just think that the good role models come to us seldom, unfortunately, these days, and I think that we don't get a good picture of what love could be or what love ought to be. And so we just go shoot from our hip when we wish to express love or understand love, and if we wish to express it, we do it in ways that maybe not be the most loving it could be, and if we wish to receive it, we don't even have a clue how to do that, because we don't often get loved to the highest or the greatest level.
So where are we going to go then with our love for Easter?
Well, that's what we're exploring. That's what we're unpacking. Next up, we've got a video which just describes a bit more of what we're talking about, just notions of different kinds of love, and draws us into the Jesus kind of love, the love that gave a sacrifice on Good Friday. So have a listen to this. The clip we just saw there went through different loves, which you obviously you saw, and it just finishes on that wonderful point where it brings us towards this notion of sacrifice that Jesus exhibited his love there on the cross. And on your screen again, there's the verse that it finished with, which is, "This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us." And I think it's a really wonderful verse for us to explore, so I thought we'd explore this together, Shax, in the sense of the laid down his life. Because I get this impression that sometimes people think, Jesus almost sort of like died by accident. It was unintentional, how unfortunate that this wonderful man, he did such wonderful things, ended up dying, how terrible would that be? Yeah. But it's not what he's done. And even if people understand that he died with a certain purpose or meaning to it, I still think we don't really get this concept that he willingly laid down his life, as in he chose to die, and he knew ahead of time that it was going to happen, and he made sure that it happened. And most people don't walk to their death willingly. Sometimes it does happen, of course, for certain reasons, but Jesus did it absolutely on purpose. And I just wanted to explore with you, why would Jesus do that? Why would you say he would do that?
And how perhaps, with us looking at love, for me perhaps it sounds a bit cliche, but it's the ultimate demonstration of love, because he's had this violence inflicted upon him, and he's looked at what we need as humankind, as his creation, and our greatest need is love. Yeah. And instead of perhaps being there and thinking, well, you guys are doing the wrong thing, let's try and sort this out in some way of, follow the rules, or what do you think you're doing? Yeah. He's taking into himself all our violence and responding in love. And I think that make such a difference to us as we look at it and receive that love from him that he was still giving to us even on the cross. When he asked his Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. Yeah. He's still speaking to us in love. I think it's really powerful.
I think it's hard to match up your actions with your words in everything, actually. But certainly, people do struggle this with love. That they say that they will love you, or they intend to love you, and this happens in domestic violence all the times. But to actually follow it up, and not just love or say that you're going to love or promise that you will, but actually to love wholeheartedly in all purity, which I don't think we can do.
No, as humans we can't.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful that Jesus would choose to do what he did on behalf of humankind. He certainly didn't have to. He could have let things lie, but I think, from my understanding too, rather than see us suffer through the consequences of our sin and difficult things that's happened across the world, to actually do something about it, and I'm really glad he did.
Yeah.
We need to move on to our next segment. We've been discussing love. We're looking at the theme,
relates to Easter.
What is love? And Schache, another way that I feel loved, if I'm honest, is that I just love a good feed. And there's lots of good food happening around Easter. Like to show you just some of that before school finished up shop for this term, and all the corona things happened. The Year 9 students were out in the home ec department cooking up some wonderful Easter food. I paid them a visit, and they were kind enough to actually give me some of their produce, which definitely tasted good. So check this out. This is Easter Muffins. Here it is.
The Easter muffin recipe.
Oh yeah.
And there are all the ingredients prepared. Young Connor going hard with his sifting.
Go.
Get that flour sorted. The eggs.
They're the goodies, mate. Right.
Caramello even. Final touch that really connects it in with Easter cross. Where'd the fourth one go? Did you eat that?
I did get one. I don't know whether I had it then or not. Yeah, maybe that's
I'm
why
sure
there's
there
only
was
three.
four. There was only three. Pastor Nathan, how do those muffins taste?
Oh mate, they were tasty. I can't believe double chocolate. Think chocolate on top.
Yep.
Do you see the sneaky Easter eggs inside? Chocolate inside.
Chocolate eggs in the inside of the muffins.
Double choc.
Whee.
Double choc.
Serious chocolate.
Unreal. Unreal. You know what, they froze those Easter eggs, I didn't realise, so that inside they're not just molten mess. It's that you still have like a pretty solid egg inside of these muffins.
Okay.
So,
I didn't get to try one, unfortunately. You should have stole one for me.
So if you would like to make one of those, why don't you even just push pause on that video now. The recipe's on your screen. If you want to take this down, jot that down, whatever, or use that, during this Easter period, go ahead, really good.
Sounds like perhaps a positive way to celebrate Easter, because it's going to be a bit tricky celebrating Easter this year, obviously, with everything that's happening. How do you imagine perhaps celebrating Easter?
Yeah, look, I think everything has to change. Corona has impacted more things than I could have possibly imagined. It's never been in my lifetime that we've had this sort of interruption, actually. And yeah, so I think that certainly changes Easter for all of us. I think if I think about what we would usually do for Easter, we would often go camping, but we can't. We would often go to church, but we can't. We would often, I guess we do have an Easter egg hunt usually. We can still do that. But definitely the whole
Around
flavour.
the family home.
Yeah, 2 weeks or more at home with children, young children. This could be interesting without being able to go out and do other activities. So hopefully we're showing lots of good love at home.
Yes. Yeah, we'd normally obviously celebrate Easter over at school, at church in the St Andrew's Worship Centre. For us, we will have some church action courtesy of Pastor Andrew, uploading things onto YouTube for us to be able to participate in for Maundy Thursday, the Thursday night, and then Good Friday there'll be a focus for that occasion too, and then Sunday, the joy of the resurrection, there'll be a separate church opportunity via YouTube for us too. So that's what we'll be looking to do. We'll have a little bit of chocolate, not a big chocolate family ourselves, so that's how we'll be looking to celebrate Easter in the Schache house.
Yeah. We've actually sourced some opinions and views from the pews, so to speak, out there in our community. We've asked some people, what would you usually do for Easter and what are you doing this year? So have a listen to some of this.
So my family believes that Easter is a time to say thank you to Jesus and acknowledge the gift that he gave us, eternal life, just a small gift. We do this by going to church, hanging with our extended family and eating quite a lot of food because, not gonna lie, Cadbury eggs, top notch. This year, due to the circumstances, our plans are probably going to change just a little bit, but how we celebrate will still essentially be the same. We'll still go to church, but it will probably be singing worship songs in our living room. We'll still hang with our family, but probably over FaceTime instead, and we're still going to eat chocolate, but we'll probably have to wipe down the packet with disinfectant first. Basically, our Easter plans are going to change and look a little different from previous years, but we'll still be celebrating the same things for the same reasons and saying a little prayer for the world while we do it.
Most of the time we go camping, sometimes.
Sometimes you go camp?
Yeah, well, Easter Fest, a long time ago.
Yep.
Maybe, sometimes we go to church camp, things like that. Now we're just sitting at home, waiting, lounging around, stuck in quarantine.
Yep.
Don't even know if I get any eggs. Woolworths is closed.
Today, we're going to have a sit down and a chat with the lonely chicken. So, you know what, let's just bring him in. Come on in, sir. So, the lonely chicken, it's Easter time,
Yeah, it is.
Let's have a chat.
Why?
So, what do you usually do during Easter time?
Sit down and be alone.
So, do you see anyone? You do anything?
Well, I make huge profit off of my local business, Local Chooks Free Range Eggs.
You what?
What?
Oh, well, I usually just go to church, do a bit of worship, that sort of thing, spend a bit of time with family, recognise the true meaning of Easter.
Nice. Sounds good.
So yeah, with how the world's going at the moment, what are you going to do this year?
Same as any other year, just sit alone. Do nothing.
Oh, well, what will I do? I'm just going to worship from home. I mean, I can still see my family around the dinner table, so do a bit of worship that way, and we'll just, bit of home worship, maybe FaceTime some people even,
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, it's cool. You can come if you want.
No, we gotta.
Yeah, of course we gotta keep the distance, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. No eggs though. Don't think I can get any chalky eggs.
Yeah, okay. I don't really know what else there is to say. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, okay, bye.
Have a good Easter, everyone.
Well, that's what's happening around the traps. We're all doing different things. My encouragement to you this Easter, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, chances are you're stuck at home.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
We try to keep our distance here, but yeah. So you're at home, you've got nothing to do. My encouragement, if you haven't not yet looked at one of the Jesus type movies, they do like full-length movies of the story of Easter. They always air them on TV at this time for those people who even watch free-to-air TV anymore.
Yep.
But you can find them on YouTube. There's all sorts of different variants, not all of the same quality. Some of them are so unrealistic and tacky and cliche, some of them not. But if you haven't yet ever watched a full Jesus type movie, why don't you do that this Easter?
Yeah,
And
plenty of time to do it.
Plenty of time to do it. Why not? Encourage you to do that if you haven't done that. And yeah,
Take in how his love for us is made real.
yeah, you get to see it all played out. Another way that we've always celebrated Easter, at least in the college, is we usually do have Easter service, obviously, and one of the pinnacle songs we always use, it's often sort of like a going out song, is My Redeemer Lives. And Schache, I know this is a favourite of yours. Why is this song so important to you?
Yeah, I just love singing that song with the woo woo part and the celebration that is within it. I first ever bumped into it in 1999 at the church down in Cordham Drive, where I went to see a band called Alabaster Box, and they performed all their own original music. And that was well received by all the young people there and a couple of oldies, which was myself and my wife when we were about 32 at the time. I'm not sure what we're doing there with 20-year-olds watching Alabaster Box, but we were. We knew some of the band members, is why we were there. But they finished that night with this song that I'd never heard before called My Redeemer Lives. And all the young people there just went off when that song came on. They were so much more animated and into it, mainly because they knew the song. The Alabaster Box songs were ones they didn't really perhaps know because it was a release of an album and all that sort of thing. But that song just ripped. And down through the decades now, it's been 20 years, we've been singing that song. And it just lifts my spirits, the music within it, and then the sentiment that's contained within it. I just love it. So we've actually got a recording of it just before school shut down. We spaced everybody around in the music room, and a mixture of grades 7, 8s, 10s and 11s helped us with that song. So it's done in a way that would be awesome if you could sing along with it at home.
Sounds good. Let's roll that tape now.
My pain is still in the same.
We sing that song throughout the year, My Redeemer Lives, but for me it's such a wonderful package of Good Friday and Easter Sunday, where it's reflecting on how Jesus takes into himself our shame and our pain, and he takes it away. But then that's the Friday, and then Sunday we celebrate that he's alive. Our Redeemer lives. Our rescuer didn't stay in the grave, but he's alive, and that's such a great source of joy. I just love singing that song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for us to go now, as they say in play school. Hope you've enjoyed our different format this time around. And it's not church, and it's not a church service, and it's not even a college service or anything, not even chapel, but often churches and chapels, we do end with a blessing, and I'd like to do that for us, even from afar. So wherever you are, whatever's happening for you, I'm going to give a blessing.
Yeah.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord look upon you with favour and give you peace. Amen. Have a blessed Easter.
You too.
What is love, Graham?
Jesus.
Good answer.
I love you at the run that you love me. I love you even if you think that I don't. Sometimes I find you doubt my love for you, but I don't mind. Why should I mind? Why should I mind? What is love anyway? Does anybody love anybody anyway? What is love anyway?
Baby, won't hurt me. That's a different one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, that's it.
What's my opening line? It's coming through. It means we're rolling.
I'll go. I'll start.
My hair, mate, my hair. Okay, I'm ready.